Grow up.
I always will be. Hello. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Friday Focus. What a pleasure it is to be back with you. My name is Jake Cunningham. I'm your host, producer, and it's an honor to be here again. This call originated back in, 2007 when I was working helping practitioners in Utah, Colorado, and New Mexico be supported with their quantum biofeedback and their practices. And we had a small conference call each Friday morning to collaborate, to share ideas. It extended from there where I started having guest speakers come and join and share their wisdom, expertise. We got into then protocol training, other events and special guests, and it's been really a joy of mine. Took a hiatus recently because there's been a lot of transition and reconfiguration going on, not just in my personal life, got married, new state, new career, new home, new baby, all in 1 year, finally settling in, and I'm in love with this industry. I love all of you, and it's so special to be here. So, the reason for this support webinar is really to reconnect and recalibrate and recommit every week so that you stay motivated and you know that you're not alone. You have a team and a shared support community who's there for you. Today, I didn't announce who was on. I just wanted to start the ball rolling. But we have one of the industry leaders who's been serving, teaching, practicing in this modality of the quantum biofeedback, along with many other traditional, mainstream, conventional approaches, along with our proactive, I call complementary. I don't call it alternative. It's actually the primary in my book. But the complementary, holistic approaches, she's really has great expertise in combining it, and we get to hear what's going on with Faith Nelson. So without further ado, I'm going to bring up a quick site just to show a little bit about Faith. You should be able to see my desktop, and it might be a little small, but hopefully you can read that. So Faith Nelson Eagles, she is an integrative health provider. Many of you may know her from IQUIM, the International Quantum University of Integrative Medicine. IQUIM, Dr. Paul Druin's university. You may know her from the Quantum Academy as one of the instructors of the biofeedback courses. You may know her from the Congress of Quantum Masters. You may have had her live in a teaching and a tutorial training. Faith has really been going through a journey of growth, transition, like us all. And it was really fun to reconnect with her the other day. Actually, at the beginning of the summer, we tried to connect and get this going. And actually, Faith, that is a catalyst to why we're here today, because things take time. But it's really an honor to have you. As you can see, overqualified, one of these amazing, I don't know if you're achieve driven, but it sure looks like it to me. The achievement driven. But she is a faculty and board member for IQUIM, Holos University, fellow at the AAIM, which is the American Association of Integrative Medicine, master instructor of quantum biofeedback, past board member at the Natural Therapies Certification Board, NTCB. Many of you may have your certification through, and a board member of Auriculotherapy Institute. We're excited to have you on, Faith. I'm going to jump back and stop sharing and welcome you on. Thank you so much for being here with us. What an honor. Please say hello to everybody.
Yes, hello. So great to be with you, Jake, and with all of you. It's wonderful to get reconnected and get back in the field and share with you what my journey has been, and hopefully inspire those of you who either have just started or who have been involved for a while to get back going again. And I appreciate you, Jake, for being the instigator for getting things going for the community and supporting all of us and going back to school. It is August.
The instigator. You heard it. The instigator. I love it. The quantum instigator.
There we go.
I'll take that with honor. Well, we were chatting about how these calls will be formatted, and they are interview-based, everybody. We're going to be interviewing, getting insight, key history, experience from some of our leaders, but also fellow practitioners so that we can learn from each other. We also will get into some protocol training in the weeks to come. But today's focus, as we recalibrate and reconnect, is to look at everyone's situation today, how we're dealing with accomplishing our goals, achieving our success. And Faith has a little tips on actually specifically in the program because she was working today with somebody, so that just happened organically all through. But first we're going to get started with a little bit of an interview. So Faith, I'm going to put you on the spot here a little bit, but the first questions are going to be more grounded. How did you become interested in this work? I mean the healing arts, not specifically just the quantum biofeedback, but how did you, on your journey, get interested in the healing modalities?
Well, I believe it goes way back. Even as a child, you know, I was one of these animal talkers and loved animals. But you know, going to college, I chose nursing as my career as a caregiver, and I was very inclined into the hands-on. And when I first started nursing, I was in the critical care units, you know, so there was a lot of hands-on, but I wanted more, so I explored massage school. And so that was one of my first alternative modalities that I pursued, and fell in love with the option of being able to do hands-on and see reactions and healings in the body and changes in people, especially by reducing their stress. And so from that path, everybody has a journey, and it's like one thing leads to another. And I was fortunate to have the opportunity to develop the first integrative program, actually in the United States at one of the main hospitals in the Midwest. And I had great support and backing for that, and brought the modalities that I was using at the time, which primarily was the massage. I also went into auricular therapy, which is using acupuncture, or not puncture, actually we were using electrical stimulation of the ear, the auricle, for pain management. And then I was introduced to the biofeedback, and I fell in love with this modality because coming from a medical background, it was such a vast medical piece of software that covered all the bases, whether it be physical, mental, psychological, spiritual. And so that, as you know, as you're learning on the device, most of you probably went to bed with it, but I couldn't get enough of it, and so I got very involved in the biofeedback and introduced it in the setting that I was in. And again, we were fortunate to have the support of having several nurses that were trained in utilizing that for pain management, for fibromyalgia, for headaches, for weight loss, and smoking cessation. So those were the primary areas. And as the journey goes, you know, I also had a private practice, and my journey working within a mainstream medical model shifted, and I had the opportunity to travel and work with a lot of you, you know, on an international basis, and I loved the opportunity of meeting practitioners no matter where you are in the world. Everybody, you know, has the passion and the compassion of working with people, you know, with this modality as well as others. And so I'm still very passionate about it. My journey again has shifted, as all of our lives shift and change, and everything is wonderful because it's all based on your past experience, and everything seems to integrate. I mean, that's what to me, my specialty is integrative medicine. And so every modality that I have learned, I've incorporated in some way or manner into my private practice.
Wonderful.
I did miss the nursing industry, and so I decided in the last couple of years that I wanted to get back into the nursing at some level. So I'm working with hospice right now, end of life. And again, it's a great opportunity to, I'm not utilizing the biofeedback in that setting, but I'm utilizing a lot of the reflexology and hands-on approaches for stress management and pain management. But in my private practice, I have a unique position where I work a week and then I'm off a week. So in my off week, I have my private practice. And I primarily, what my love right now, what I love to focus on is situations and assisting people with shifting, their either their mental blockages or resistance to change, or, just in creating their ideal setting. As I was sharing with Jake, my daughter and son-in-law in the process of getting a small farm. And of course, as a new homeowner, there's a lot of anxiety. And so I was sharing with Jake how I had developed a clearing the space protocol way back. And some things that I have found besides utilizing the biofeedback, I love the NRG for activating the NRG cards and giving that to the individual. Or if you don't have an NRG activator, the test tray is wonderful, just like a homeopathic activation. I use quartz crystals because I've mined for crystals for over 30 years down in Arkansas. So I have quite a collection of handheld crystals that I can activate on the device, on the test tray, for the situation that we're working on. And so you get creative, I guess is what I'm saying, Jake, and using all the tools that you have and then finding creative ways of using them in whatever your practice is.
Wonderful, Faith. Thank you for sharing. I think a lot of us can relate to that journey in some way, but let me ask you, in that process, how has the healing arts, hands-on as well as the energetic medicine, how has it affected your personal life? What I mean is, how has giving so much as a profession affected your personal life, and how do you find that balance?
Well, of course, when you're working with individuals, to me, what I have learned over the years is the sense of groundedness. You have to be grounded in yourself, so that you're not taking on the energies of the other person. You are interfacing in consciousness with this device and with your hands-on if you're qualified to do that. But it's so important to maintain that separateness, of the energetic fields. I think that that's very important. And then also knowing how to clear those energies for yourself and maintain that balance in your own personal life.
Wonderful. Can you still hear me?
I can hear you. Can you
hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Yes. Can you hear me?
I can. I'm just checking this mute button, and it should be working. But forgive me. We'll stay focused. Okay. Well, what changed when you added the quantum biofeedback? What enhancements, or how did your practice shift?
For me, the main thing was getting feedback, from the device. I knew intuitively, and plus, theory-wise, what was going on with the individual. But to have that feedback from the device as you're working on them, what, is coming up on the different panels, or utilizing it like perhaps the spine, to open up any energetic blockages, so that it can enhance some of the other meridian work or flow work that you're doing.
Wonderful. Mm-hmm. And I think it's fascinating that you're going back to some of the hands-on, which I feel is still energetic medicine, moving energy, but we all need more physical touch. That's for sure.
Now, on a daily basis, I will always use this device, either for keeping myself grounded or for clearing whatever physical, mental, spiritual blockages that I may have. Of course, I use it on my loved ones and friends and family and grandkids. I wouldn't be without it, I guess is what I'm saying.
Wonderful. I'm just adjusting the audio setting. I want to make sure I'm being recorded. If you can't hear me, anybody, please use the chat.
Mm-hmm. I think what's important is that we all realize what a valuable piece of medical software. I mean, to me, it's my life insurance, my health insurance, that I can go to on a daily basis. I mean, even though I'm trained in allopathic medicine, I probably just hold on to that, for drama stuff. But and I haven't had any of that. But for maintaining my health, I use this on, a daily basis, like I said, for myself or friends or family and grandkids.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Well said. And likewise, I'm not a trained practicing practitioner, but the tool is quite phenomenal for home care. What are some tips in terms of reaching goals surrounding getting trained, educated, not necessarily only in the quantum biofeedback, but for accomplishing a goal? What tips have you used in your journey towards accomplishing some of these amazing achievements that you've done?
I'd say the key tip is passion. You have to believe and love and have a passion, and then it's easy. It's like everything falls into place. You are guided to the right trainings, the right people, the right situations, the right settings. And so I think that is the main tip, is getting in touch with your own passion and love for what you do.
Wonderful. You mentioned some key organizations, players in your journey. Who's been some of the major positive influences in your growth?
Well, I have a lot of mentors, throughout my career. My gosh, whatever, specific training that I've had, there's leaders in those fields that I've looked up to or I have trained with myself. I would say I've been so fortunate here locally, and of all places, Springfield, Missouri, to have Dr. Norm Shealy, in my backyard, a world-renowned neurosurgeon that 30 plus years ago, said enough of that and left the medical institutions and was one of the pioneers in integrative medicine. And actually, he was my first inspiration for exploring more of what integrative medicine was about. So I was very fortunate to have learned a lot from him. Of course, all of the different conferences, any conferences, well, I guess, back, 30 years ago, conferences were more popular. There's so many webinars these days, that you have access to without having to travel. But traveling and being able to work and see some of these pioneers in the field, I feel that had a great influence by being able to, be with some of these pioneers. Of course, Dr. Paul Druin, I've have a lot of respect for him for being the pioneer in naturopathic, developing one of the greatest naturopathic universities online. And he has pursued his passion and what he believed in. And I remember first meeting him, 12, 13 years ago, and he still goes stronger and stronger. As far as teachers in the quantum biofeedback area, of course, Professor Nelson Desiree, the genius that he is, it's, you cannot not, give respect, to the creator of this device. And then, of course, many of the first instructors in the field, Nirvana, for one, was a great inspiration to me, Dave Cowan. And just learning from those masters in my own personal training, you see their level of understanding and interfacing and consciousness with the device, and that is a great jump start, for getting on your own path.
Wonderful. Thank you for sharing. you spoke of some Dr. Druin, of course, Professor Nelson. How can people access some of the information that you've created, some of the content, and where can they find some of your courses and teachings?
Well, my website, drfaithnelson.com, that's probably gives a synopsis of all the different organizations that I'm involved in, depending upon what your area of integrated medicine and interests are. If you're solely interested in the biofeedback, I have had the opportunity to work with Nirvana and Stefan with the Quantum Academies with refilming the beginners, intermediate, advanced, and biofeedback courses. And so those have all been reproduced with the new software programs and with the new terminology. And Nirvana, of course, I believe, is one of the greatest creators of the manuals, with her computer expertise in developing the step-by-step protocols that she has. Mm-hmm. I'm looking forward to being able to create recreate some of the quantum clinics with Nirvana and be able to produce those as webinars, because like I said, the webinars are easier access than actually traveling to the different workshops. Although the workshops, oops, there's a little feedback there.
Hold on 1 second here.
There you go.
1 moment. There we go.
Always dealing with technology.
Oh yeah, I've got three. I've got my test. I've got my iPad testing on an audience view. I'm so sorry to interrupt. Go ahead, continue.
Right.
If you saw what's going on here, you would laugh. But talk about EMF protection mode. I need like a housing. But you were speaking of Nirvana, and the new revamp course is so.
Yes. And so those are all available through the Quantum Academies. And then, of course, I've been on faculty with Dr. Paul Druin with IQUIM.org. And so if someone wants to pursue, a more of a specialty in the area of either integrated medicine, naturopathic medicine, he's developed so many of the top keynote pioneers and speakers in the world and faculty with his university. So there's a vast array of online training and education. He also annually has the Quantum Congress that he broadcasts internationally. And I think Jake's going to show a little clip of what that's about. You can either attend, via webcam, or go to Hawaii, which is nice too, and attend live for some of the live workshops and to see the speakers live. So I appreciate Alexi's level of expertise and being able to get that out to people internationally. Some of the other modality specialties, again, there are so many out there. It just depends on what your interests are and how you're going to be utilizing it and how you're trained and certified, to be able to do these different modalities, such as the auricular therapy, ACI.com, Jinshin Jitsu, and of course, the kinetic and meridian work with Touch for Health. Those to me are tools that you can just accentuate your practice with. If you do want to do the hands-on work, I love being able to combine the massage therapy with reflexology. So it just depends on if you want to stay solely focused with the biofeedback, which you absolutely can, with whether you want to take on pain patients, sports patients, addiction patients, weight loss patients, beauty, aging, or like I said, what I love to do is, to help people create new situations or moving forward in business or creating their ideal setting, clearing blockages, and things like that. I think another tool is Dr. Patrick Porter. I have a lot of respect for his advancement in technology with the light goggles and with the NLP courses that he has. So many times I will utilize those, so that I can have the patient into a more relaxed state so that there's less resistance as I'm running the device.
Those are wonderful. Those are called MindTap. His new brand was Porter Vision. You can look up Porter Vision, but the MindTap technology. He has new versions out, and they're phenomenal
Yes, they are.
the
He just
LED
keeps improving on the
lights,
tech.
and he's got
Matter
over
of
like
fact, I was
300.
wondering if I know that besides the biofeedback being utilized with the Olympics, I know that Patrick has also worked with Olympians, and I often wondered when I saw Michael Phelps, in his hoodie with his earphones on. I often wondered, okay, is he listening to Patrick Porter, before his meets or what?
Right, right. Well, again, Patrick Scott has amazing content like Dr. Drew and like the academies. So these are all wonderful resources for you all. I put links up in the chat, everybody, and I'll attach these to the notes with the replay. Quick little injection. Yes, there's going to be a replay. It's a question I usually address at the beginning. It's one of the most popular questions because most people can't see this live. So for those of you who are attending live and chatting and interacting, thank you. We appreciate you in doing so. That's what this call is about. It's for you. It's a community event each week, and it doesn't have to be extraordinary in terms of complicated. Hopefully this technical connection was okay for you. And if not, please, you can contact me and we can go over those details. But yes, MindTap Technology, I think, is the name of the new Patrick Porter's brand. It was called MindFit there, I think, for a moment too. So excellent resources. Well, right now, Faith, let me play that clip if you don't mind.
Okay.
Everyone sit back.
I believe that this clip was with my little grandson. And like I said, my grandkids, they're very receptive they love having Grandma work on them. But anyway, my little grandson I shared with Jake, he's one of these aspiring football players, but does not have the stature. And so he gets headaches. And so anyway, I believe that you can see how you can work with children too.
Well, of course, and the brain health is something I think it's a niche, and we're not getting into marketing strategies really today, but it is a niche to be conscious and aware of, everybody, because the number one fear, I love these little studies, and I think it's subjective. You can never say the number one fear of all people because we're all so dynamic and different. But losing memory and your brain health is going to be so valuable in the next, as not only the baby boomer generation, but as the millennials start to age and the way we've treated our bodies. I'm worried too. Concussions from football injuries, hockey, and all the. We've got to protect and nurture our brains, not just nutritionally, but very subtly, and you all have tools for that. So just pay attention to it. Keep in mind the investment going on with brain health in the near future.
I do want to mention, Jake, that I had the opportunity to go to Budapest and saw some phenomenal work with the new Eductor chair. And so I invested in one of those chairs, but there's a lot of incredible things that are being done for Alzheimer's and for memory and autism, of course, so if you are interested, in pursuing that, that's a new technology that is out there.
Wonderful. Well, let's play the video, Faith. I'll go over to my little control tower here and we'll sit back, relax. It's about a 3-minute video is what it, and so sit back and enjoy, and we'll see you on the other side.
It gives you an overview of how these webcams Congress.
Wonderful. Excellent.
I don't know, Jake, I'm not seeing anything.
All right, Faith, are you there?
I'm here.
Okay, excellent. Yeah, I know you couldn't see it probably because of that app didn't load, and that gives you that ability to see what's going on in the back end. But that was for last year's event. So again, that's like October of every year. IQM has that amazing conference in, I believe is it the Big Island or no? Is it?
Yes.
Or it's in Oahu. It's on the island. It's on Oahu in Honolulu, right? By headquarters. Is that where it's located?
Yep.
Where IQM.
Yeah, so, you can just go to the website.
Yeah, you can go to the website. I did post the website in the chat box. I'll post it again here. Faith, you mentioned you had your program up. Did you want to show it?
Oh, well, sure. Do I just navigate here, and do I have to share a screen?
Yeah, you'll just have to share your screen. So if you hover over yourself, and then that little green second button icon on the left-hand side, there's a screen share. It's a green screen with an arrow. And then you can share your entire screen. It's fine.
Well, I went to that, Jake, and it says the start screen share is muted. Darn it.
Okay. It's muted.
I mean, it's grayed out.
Oh, okay. Go down to the bottom of that little list, and there's 3 dots, and you can add apps.
Okay.
And see if you can find the screen share. There's not too many for the YouTube. Hello. Hi. How you doing? Just joking. I'm not going to answer that while I'm on.
Yeah. I don't see it here.
You don't? Okay. That's something that probably didn't load properly.
Aww.
Are you on Chrome? Are you on your Google Chrome, or did you do it on your Internet Explorer?
I think I did it on the Internet Explorer.
That's probably why.
Yeah.
If you wanted, you could log in and try it. I can entertain people.
I log on to Gmail.
Yeah, log on with your Chrome and and then when you're logged in, you can just close out of this window. And in the meantime, what I'm going to do is share my screen with everybody. I've got an extended screen, everyone, so it might be really small. But I want to just go over a couple other resources you have. Of course, Complex Homeopathy, part of the system. My father's company, White Dove Healing Arts, is a great resource for you in supporting your practice. For those of you who are already wholesale buyers, you understand the value of these products. And for those of you who aren't, give them a call and chat about the Homeotherapeutic Coach HTC course that trains you how to effectively select remedies and the remedy selection protocol instructed by Professor Nelson and my father. My father revamped that course last year, re-recorded the audio, because if you know the history of the course, when my father was working with Professor Nelson in the early 90s, there was he was helping take out the trash, and he noticed a bunch of tapes in the trash. And my dad recovered them, said, "Hey, I'm going to check these out, Bill," and he discovered a gem. And from there, it's evolved into a 30 continuing education unit accredited course, and it's most effectively in training you how to use the remedies in the program. By the way, those remedies were always designed to go hand in hand with your system. They were intended to be used at the conception of this technology along with every session. That's something many people don't know. It's still a profoundly effective instrument without it, but just something to be aware of. There's a reason you need some support energetically, as well as nutritionally, as well as on that balance of the complex homeopathy, which gives you that various different dilutions, and combination homeopathy is why it's unique. So check it out. Obviously, increase results, increase profit for your practice. And then check out our new website, White Dove Global. There's some great resources here, upgrades, purchasing, accessories, and support. That's going to be my support for you, and webinars and the replays and everything there. So just want to show you those while we're seeing if Faith is jumping back on.
Yep, I'm back on. I just need to know, Jake, can you see me?
We can't see you yet on, did you close out your other?
Yes, I closed out the other.
You might need to share your camera. Is your camera blocked? Usually that.
Okay, turn camera on. I did that.
Okay.
So I'll just hit the screen share button.
And I don't see your camera, but that's okay. It's like a radiating little icon there. If you go up to settings above your head, you can
I see the red camera, but for some reason.
That's okay. If you just share your screen share, is it working now?
Okay.
There you are. I can see you now.
Okay, so I'm in screen share, but it still is grayed out. So I don't know, do I need to go back down and open up the app?
See if you can add it, yeah.
So, sorry everybody.
Yeah, that's okay. Well, it may be just, we'll have to do it on another day.
We'll just do a special one on that. But I don't see, when I go to the apps, there's no screen share on the app. So sorry about that.
Okay, yeah. Recent developer. Now, if you go to the apps.
Okay.
I want to go to recent.
Okay. It says no recent apps.
Okay. Do you see Webinar Jam Studio?
Yep.
Can you install that?
Well, I click on it, but nothing happens.
Okay. So some setting is going on, but that's what we get to spend some time with. I'm going to help you do a little computer cleanup. No worries. What we'll do is we'll open it up to questions and get everybody out of here. We want to honor everyone's time. If it said you can always reconnect everybody as you get used to this platform at the bottom of your screen, and we'll just reset it. Think of this as a streaming live video, right? And so turning off all of your Wi-Fi devices, and I know you can't turn them all off your phone and things, but be conscious of it. If you have, a few kids playing live streaming video games online or watching Netflix, things like this, it's going to take your bandwidth, right? There's only so much energy that can go through. And
hey, Jake, are you seeing my screen now?
I am. No, I'm not seeing it now. I'm not seeing it now, but.
Okay, because it showed up that I was sharing, so.
Oh, okay. Well, keep trying. I think there's some people would love to see it. They said.
Because I went out to consciousness and it shows that it's showing, but maybe it's not.
Yep. And we have a request. Everyone, I want to, if you can please write in the chat any topics, any areas of focus that you'd like to see. I know Elena, hi, how are you? One of our great clients. I love working with Elena, has a new cybernetic chair, Faith, and that's a much needed explanation. As we chatted the other day, and Elena and I were playing, we were playing test it here, plug it here. You know, we had to work together. There needs to be some more thorough training and explanation on that.
Mm-hmm.
That's one.
Jake, I got a e-message that somebody can see. Can somebody type whether or not they can see my screen in your background? Because someone just typed and says you're showing, but maybe not.
Or yeah, you are showing. You as in your beautiful portrait is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I really wish you could see my screen, but it's no big deal. But I was, like I said, running a situation, and when you run a situation, you know, it's real easy. You know, you just go into the demographics, and I like to type in as much information about the location. Let's say I'm working on a business or on a farm or whatever it is that needs the clearing or resistance to change. And the focus is interfacing in consciousness, you know, all the different panels that you can to release that resistance to change or to improve the vibratory frequency of that situation. So we can focus on that, you know, on a specific webinar, and I think that, you know, that it can be a lot of fun.
Oh my gosh, that's something. It sounds like a lot of relevant information for really anyone. I mean, any person to release that blockages of, because whether someone comes in with a label stamped to their head that they've been given, that they think they have or know they have, or they're just not up to speed and they want some help. It sounds like that's a pretty valuable approach. It also sounds like it covers a wide variety of, wait a second, you clicked on something. Okay, we're gonna work on your computer, and if you have time after this call, I wanna help you with that. Any questions, you guys, before we go? Next week, we're gonna have Dr. Louise Schwartzwalter on to highlight some of how she uses a lot of these different modalities, including the biofeedback. And I'm going to open it up to some specific tech related questions. We're not going to get into that today, but if you have any regarding updates, software, service pack updates, is it worth it, do you think, to update to the latest version? How do you do it? Account information with Budapest, all that stuff. Next week, after our focus in the morning with afternoon with Dr. Louise, we're gonna get into some of that fun stuff. Yay! How do you configure your port on your computer? That's hot stuff. Look out! But Faith, I want to say thank you. We love you. We miss you. We're excited to see some of the. Well, everyone, check out the Quantum Academies. IQUIM, drfaithnelson.com, and stay up to speed with what Dr. Faith is doing. And if you need to take a refresher course, the new curriculum with the Quantum Academies, contact me. I am a distributor for those courses. I support the academies 100%. I think they, like you said, Faith, Nirvana has a gift to take something very complex and make it very linear and logical, and that's not easy, right? Simplicity is not easy, and we need that, as well as the deeper theory, understanding, and approach as well. But we need both. One's not better than the other. We need both of those in this work we do. So, without further ado, any last thoughts before you have a wonderful rest of your week?
I think there's a question, Jake. They want to know a little bit more about the inductor chair, the cybermagnetic chair, and whether you help sell those or
absolutely
get those set up for people.
Absolutely. And I want to obviously honor Elena, who's on. She worked with me last month. We got her one. I do, Drew. How are you, Drew Love? I love you, man. How are you doing? Are you still in Mexico? This guy is amazing. Love it. Yes, I do sell the systems. I'm learning to support them. I have one of the first versions. It's actually not even I couldn't even resell it. I mean, it was almost like a prototype, Faith, right? I mean, and that's okay, because I know it's a new technology. But it's not the chair. It really should be called the cybermagnetic pillow. I like pillow instead of pad. But that's really what it is. It's about a 14 by 18 inch pillow that has the Well, there, you can explain it more. It works on the, is it the magnetic frequency and harmonization with the different music, sound, correlating with the device, or it doesn't correlate necessarily with the device, but you can access parts of the program from it. Faith, continue on. Please explain the chair in better form.
Well, I love interfacing, the chair, with the device. Matter of fact, when before you open up the device, the chair, I open up the eductor first, so that you're opening up that person's profile, and then you're interfacing with the eductor chair. And then it has a microphone, so you're actually scanning the voice frequency in the very beginning so that the device is interfacing with the frequency of that individual's unique pattern, with the voice. And then from there, there's many different programs that you can use, to balance those frequencies, either, like Jake said, with sound, with different musics, with, just mostly the harmonizing frequencies that they, have a headphone on, after they speak in the microphone, and then they're listening, to these frequencies. Now, I personally navigate on the device, and like if I'm working with somebody on memory or super learning or Alzheimer's or autism, then I will interface, with that program that I'm working with, the cybermagnetic chair, and I'm interfacing in consciousness with the eductor, with the new software, with those super learning programs or autism programs.
Oh, wonderful. Well, there's a lot of great requests, Faith, for more information on that, and there's a really wonderful encouragement from all of you. Thank you for your feedback. Really appreciate this. This is exciting. I had more registrations from an email I sent out yesterday than I had, I think, in total for the last 3 years. So there's a need for this. And most people, again, remember, if you register, you can auto subscribe to all, so you're reminded each week. You'll be notified, but this is a tool for you to use and to listen to over the weekend. I know you all can't be here live, but thank you, Faith, for sharing some of that insight into the chair. That's a to be continued for sure.
Right. We should do a special segment on that, because there's very few people, that have the chair, and I believe it's because, there's just not any education on it yet, but I'd be happy to
very true that. Very true. And it's a little bit of an unknown. Something can be, and this is beautiful segue into my last words of wisdom and food for thought here. You may have the most amazing tool in the world, which many of us believe we do. One of the most amazing technologies in the world, right? Would everyone agree? Yes, no, you don't have to. So think about this. Just like the cybernetic chair analogy, something could be the most amazing, you could be the most amazing gifted practitioner with so much to offer. But if there isn't a simple communication about the value and how to play and how to take participation and how to connect with you and your services, that amazing gift that you bring will never reach close to its potential. It'll never see what it can do in the world. So my point is, let's get confident again with what we do. Let's get on the same page, create our own identity and creativity with what we bring forth into the world, and ask for people to come and experience, share the value that it brings. Because again, with that, something great is maybe the best thing in the world for you, but this system and these technologies, all of these, even touch, even the different acupuncture, chiropractic, we have to share and remind people why it's important. We have to compete in the information age for attention. Now, what a great thing to compete for, right? Helping others. Hey, you turn on the news now, they're competing for a lot of energy that will drain you. Let's compete and share with people, spread the word about what you do of something that's gonna lift people up. My point is, talk about what you do, share the value, and we'll get into more of these marketing concepts later. Faith, take it away. Any closing thoughts?
Well, I just send a thank you to everybody, and thank you, Jake. And I believe that the energy is right to begin moving forward. I mean, it's obvious with the number of people interested in connecting with us, today. So, there's a time for everything, and now is the time to reconnect with the powerful tools that you have and the powerful self that you are. So thank you, Jake.
You're welcome. Thank you, Faith. Stay focused, stay happy, everybody, and we'll see you next week. Blessings to you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.